Welcome to Crystal Theater Presents, a new show of, for, and by we young citizens. So what's on the agenda for tonight, Sam?
Well, tonight's our rat, juice, and marmalade show.
Rat juice? That doesn't sound very appetizing.
Well, it's not supposed to be. You see, it's the title of Crystal Theater's new production, Rat, Juice, and Marmalade. It's about a mouse, a dog, and a cat who want to become human.
And why would they want to do that? I mean, my dad says my dog, Princess, leads a better life than he does.
Well, I don't know about that. I feel really bad for those human kids in school all day, being bored.
Bored? Boring? Sounds like some of my classes. So, what are the specifics about the show?
Well, all the kids that are in Rat, Juice, and Marmalade are from Norwalk. It'll be performed at Roosevelt Senior Center on November 15th and 16th.
Well, and who's writing the show?
Joan McFarland.
And do we have any clips?
Yeah, I think we do.
Well, can we roll them?
Now, I want you all to be in opera singer poses. Opera singer poses, talk straight like you're perfect. Perfect. Okay, and Angela, you're going to be right in the center. And you're just going to look and feel like, oh, if I could get solo. Now, the way we do it, for those of you who don't know this thing, we go, la, 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 la. La, 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 and stop. You stop in the center, so you're going la, 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 and stop. Group, very formal, okay. And what's your name?
Angela Buno.
Angela Buno. And who do you play, what part do you play in this show?
I'm the chorus teacher.
You're the chorus teacher. What's your name?
Miss Falsetto.
Miss Falsetto. And now, in real life in the show, is your chorus like the perfect chorus? They can sight, read, and do everything right?
No.
No. Okay, so what we're going to hear a little bit now is one of your fantasies, your dream of the ideal chorus student. And the rest of you, you are all you're being the fantasy perfect students, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's see a little bit of this. This should be interesting. Okay, this is going to be a very interesting little opening here, okay? Okay, well, this is a very interesting picture, people. I assume you're playing kindergartners. All right, and you're unhappy kindergartners? Okay, so it looks to me like these are people with kindergarten blues. Musical?
Rat, Juice, and Marmalade.
Rat, Juice, and Marmalade. Now, is this some new kind of beverage, some new kind of drink, rat juice?
Yeah, no. Rat, Juice, and Marmalade are about three animals. A little mouse who's tough and wants to be big, so she calls herself Rat. Juice is a slobbery old dog. And Marmalade, an orange-colored, screechy cat.
Screechy. A singer. So, now, how would you characterize, or how would you describe most of the music in this show?
Oh, it's kind of rock and roll, I guess.
Kind of rock and roll.
Music, yeah.
And what?
It's the late 60s.
And what happens in the show? What's the plot of the show?
Well, Rat, Juice, and Marmalade are three animal buddies who hang out by the garbage dump, by the dumpster, actually, behind the elementary school. And they decide that they want to become children so that they can go to this wonderful elementary school and eat the wonderful food that comes out of the school. And the name of the school is Blase Elementary School. So the fairy garbage mother rises out of the dumpster and grants them a wish with all kinds of problems that occur after they become children.
Fairy garbage mother. This is something new. Where did this fairy garbage? Okay.
I'm here with the cast of Rat Juice and Marmalade and Joan McFarland, the writer of the show. Now, Joan, is this your first play that you've written with Crystal Theater?
Yes, it is. It's the very first one I've done with Crystal. It kind of came about while I was singing Macaroni, Cheese, and Tango to Cheryl, and she said, I love it. Write the rest of the show.
Now, oh, okay. Do you like working with Cheryl?
I love working with Cheryl. I love working with the kids. Cheryl's real loose. I mean, and she's such a professional. She knows exactly what needs to be done, so I'm learning a lot about working with children. No, they're great. They are really terrific. And this is a really nice, gross show, so they're really getting into it.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thanks.
Okay.
Welcome to Crystal News Network, news of, for, and by we young citizens. So, what's the big news this week, Sam?
Well, the big news, and I mean the really big news, is the narrow escape of Little Red Riding Hood from that nasty wolf.
And I presume you're referring to Crystal Opera's recent production of Seymour Barab's opera, The Little Red Riding Hood?
That's right, Dave. It was recently performed at Roosevelt Stage, at Allen Center in Norwalk, and at Columbus Magnet School. Tonight, we are very pleased to welcome Lynn Ann Wagner from Crystal Opera, who's here to discuss it.
Hi.
Hi. But first, let me ask, for the audience's sake, what is Crystal Opera?
Well, there's two main reasons for Crystal Opera, and one is to help showcase Connecticut artists and musicians and composers, and to let people know that they have very talented people in their own backyards. And secondly, to also make the opera more accessible to people by, first of all, performing it in English, and secondly, by doing it in dialogue.
Now, what's Crystal Opera currently performing?
Well, we just finished with The Little Red Riding Hood at Roosevelt, and now we're touring it on the road. And in fact, we've got two clips here from the Roosevelt Senior Center that we'd like to show you.
Okay.
Great, let's roll them.
Now you'll be my entree, and you'll be my appetizer.
Say goodbye to each other.
Don't mention that word!
I also like to add that this is mainly just student productions that we're doing here. So we're now going to be showing you a sequence from the Columbus Magnet School.
Time because now, Kennedy and the singers are going to do for you Little Red Riding Hood.
but smart and sly, that much must be admitted. Though many have tried to take my heart, I've yet to be outwitted. Have a chance after that. Oh, why, hello, little girl.
Sir, I don't know you, and no one can accuse me of something stranger, so you'll have to excuse me.
Oh, my dear, I can see that you weren't born yesterday. Better safe than sorry. It's me, Grandma, Little Red Riding Hood.
Did you like the show?
Yeah, it was cool.
Who'd you like best, the wolf?
I like Grandma. She was cool.
Oh.
I like my grandma the best.
Did you like the show? Who was your favorite actor? The wolf. Did you like the show?
Yeah,
Who was your favorite actor?
the wolf.
Would you like to see more of these shows in school?
Yeah.
Good. Did you like the show? Who was your favorite? Did you like the show? Who was your favorite? The grandmother. Do you like operas now? A little bit, maybe? Good.
Well, Lynn, we'd like to thank you for being on the show.
Yes, and we hope to see more of Crystal Opera in the future.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
We'd like to welcome 3 cast members from Rat Juice and Marmalade. What are your names?
Juice as Jay Kenowitz.
Rat as Remy Zakin. Marmalade as Costa Rica.
Okay, well, good luck.
Macaroni, cheese, and tango together, together for my dinner. That's why I am not thinner. Tango well together, together for my supper. A single color bring me upper. Because they are both fantastic, and everything is culture. Then isn't it so tricky that all you add is water or milk? Macaroni, cheese, and tango Please for me, please try it and see.
Well, we'd like to thank Rat Juice and Marmalade, and here I am with more kids. Now, what are you guys?
We're the fairy garbage mothers.
Really? That's very interesting. Now, do you all play on the same night?
No.
No? Now, what's your name?
Kristen.
Kristen, and yours?
Rebecca Sheehan.
How about you?
Elizabeth Young.
Okay. And what are you going to be singing for us tonight?
Yummy to yucky.
Ah, sounds interesting. Well, good luck, guys.
Thank you. Yummy to yucky, delicious to dank, scrumptious to stinky, refreshing to rank. A molecule here and a corpuscle there, bacteria, oxygen, now there's a pair. As 8-week-old apes, a 5-week-old fish, are changed and mutated, grant each one a wish. A wish.
You guys look a little more normal. Now, who are you supposed to be?
Mr. Tweeters,
Uh-huh. And who's Mr. Tweeters?
the gym teacher.
Oh. And how about you?
I got changed. I was a dog, and I got changed from the fairy garbage mother into a boy, and I'm Jason.
Oh, I see. Now, what song are you going to be doing for us tonight?
Don't want to hear that.
And, like, what's in this scene? What's happening?
Juice has just come in because Mrs. Goat had brought him in, and he has his hands on his ears. I start to yell at him, and then I blow the whistle, and then he starts to sing, and because everybody's laughing at him because he doesn't know his name.
Well, good luck, guys.
I just got here today, and to tell you I'm ready to play. I've got so much inside, can't be quiet, I don't want to hide. I want to run, I want to scream, I want the soccer ball, I want to make the team. I want to jump, I want to play, don't want to hear that, sit down and stay. Don't want to hear that, sit down and stay.
Yes, I see that you're here, but a bit too noisy, I fear. Now go sit on that line. I stress discipline all the time. Sit down and stay. Sit down and stay. Sit down and stay. Sit down and stay. Sit down and stay.
I'm here with Kate McFarland, and what do you play in the show?
I'm Marmalade.
But you don't look like a cat to me.
Well, I'm already transformed by the fairy garbage mother.
Oh, okay.
Every day we must warm up our voices up and down the scale. Every day harmonize with our voices, practice without fail. And analytical and practical, reliable and classical. So every day we must warm up our voices up and down the scale.
Next, we had the second episode of our current continuing story, On the Rocks, written by Crystal Theater alumni Darren Ford.
If you remember, a group of shipwrecked sailors discover that they are not alone on the island.
And we also learned that the relationships are more complex than they first appeared. Let's see what happens.
We were not able to find Potter. He's disappeared off into the woods.
Maybe he doesn't enjoy people talking his ear up in languages he doesn't understand. Where's your husband?
Oh, well, he was behind me. Oh, bother, I hope he did not get lost. At his age, he doesn't get around as well as he used to.
Maybe I ought to go look for him.
Be careful, Will.
I'm sure he'll be fine. So tell me, what was it you two were talking about earlier off in the woods?
That's none of your business. I don't suppose your husband ever had an affair, did he?
Oh, yes, many times. His current mistress is his vice president's wife's sister. Fortunately, he feels guilty enough to bring me presents after his little nightly escapades, so I let them go on. The last time he gave me a perfectly darling diamond necklace. Very.
That's awful. How can you let him go on like that and not care?
Money, my dear. His life insurance policy is worth more to me than his.
I think I'll go help Will look for your husband.
Oh no, don't leave me. I do hate the dark, especially with Pato gallivanting off in the woods somewhere.
I wouldn't worry about Pato if I were you.
Well, he's an odd man. He frightens me. There you are. Where did you disappear to?
I had to use the facilities.
You went in the woods? How dreadfully uncivilized.
Well, where would you like me to go?
Look. I think tomorrow we should all split up and look for food. Oh, look, it appears our friend is back.
How lovely. I don't suppose you think you've learned some English in the past few hours?
I doubt that.
Shh. Look, I think we ought to keep an eye on him. I don't want him walking around without us knowing about it.
Gowikan makufuso tuso bingo.
Oh, he's speaking! How fascinating. What do you suppose he said, darling?
Will you stop asking me those ridiculous questions? How am I supposed to know what that savage is saying?
Maybe he found something.
Maybe, but I don't trust him. My wife followed a man into a store one time and he said he had something to show her. Well, he did, but it certainly wasn't anything of interest to her, that's for sure. I'm sure she misses me terribly right now. She gets that way sometimes. My wife, I mean.
Will you please stop mentioning that wife of yours?
4.
What a peculiar young lady, always running off in a tantrum. Well, anyway, Pato, come here, or Savage, or whatever you are. Now, try to explain to us what you were trying to say earlier. We don't speak Savage, I'm afraid, but maybe you could draw what you want in the sand.
He's not a pet, dear. It's not necessary to teach him silly pet tricks.
This is useless. We've got to get this fire started before it gets too dark. And I've got to go smooth things out with Jen before she gets lost in the forest. Tomorrow we'll all go search for some food and water, but for now, keep an eye on Pato.
Where do you suppose he came from?
I'd say he was shipwrecked, or rather canoe-wrecked. I feel sorry for the savage, being here, stuck on the island with no one who speaks his language. Not much better off than we are, I suppose.
Darling, you're such a fool. These jungle types know their way around all the deserted islands. He probably was just fascinated by our civilized conversation and decided he would stay and watch.
Well, he's not looking at us now.
No, I suppose not.
Please don't scream, darling. Your voice is rather piercing.
Well, he surprised me.
You rather surprised him.
Well, how would you get his attention? It's not very much. If he spoke English, I could address him properly. Not very much my fault he doesn't speak a civilized language. How would you address him?
Wait! Sit down there! You're not supposed to leave.
Perhaps we ought to teach him some English since we're going to be stuck on the island. Just the odd word here and there. Yes, no, tea. You know, we might want to use them again later on.
That's a wonderful idea.
Well, we thought we should teach you some English. There is yes. And there is no. No. Yes.
And there is food. Can you say food?
You don't suppose he wants us to follow him?
It definitely looks that way.
No.
I think we should wait for the others to come back.
What do you suppose he means?
I think he means he's hungry.
You don't suppose? What a perfectly dreadful thought! Where do you suppose he went now?
I don't know, but I do want to know where that delightful young woman went and her, friend.
Delightful? She was noisier than your Aunt Helen. Oh, Jeffrey, don't you think she's a little young for you?
Where's Potter?
Oh, he left. He has a habit of doing that. But this time it was as if he wanted us to follow him. I must say, he left making some obscene gestures with his arms.
Maybe he found food and should have followed
Perhaps. But we can always find food in the morning. I had one of those perfectly stuffing buffets on the cruise just before we crashed, and I'm still quite stuffed. I do suppose a good night's sleep will tell me work up an appetite, though.
Oh, you're not hungry. That's great. Everything's fine for now. So, what are we going to do about the sleeping arrangements?
him. We can sleep under those trees over there in case it rains. Come on.
Sleeping under the trees? On the ground? How dreadful. Nobody? Oh, Jeffrey, nobody business tonight!
Well, folks, that's our show for tonight. And don't forget to tune in to Crystal Theater Presents every Wednesday, channel 27 at 7:30.
And don't forget to come see Rat, Juice, and Marmalade this weekend at Roosevelt Senior Center. Bye-bye now.
See ya.